We're going into this Max Blumenthal story, which also involves Joe Manchin. So for those of you who are not aware, yes, Zelensky was at the White House the other day. He was greeted. Let's go ahead and show you the greeting. And then we're going to talk about what Max Blumenthal has to do with all of this, how he's involved. Now, this is from Hassan. He said Zelensky got a standing ovation in the U.S. Congress for being an outstanding customer of Raytheon. Oh, dear. Watch it, guys. Watch the theatrics.
Madam Speaker, the President of Ukraine.
Watch this part. Pause. Isn't that Barbara Lee? That's Barbara Lee right there. Wasn't Barbara Lee and Bernie Sanders the only ones that voted against the Iraq war? Even Barbara Lee, look, she has on the colors too. The blue jacket and the yellow shirt. You can see part of the yellow right here. You guys see the propaganda? Let me go on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she did, Betsy. See how people change?
Flower.
I feel like this guy has been on like a celebrity tour, to be honest with you.
Members, members of Congress.
I think it's too much.
I think it is. Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and the distinct honor of presenting to you His Excellency Volodymyr Zelensky, President of the Ukraine.
So that happened. Let's carry on. See how they can stand up and cheer for him like that? You see how they can do that? Let me see here. So you may be wondering, where does Max Blumenthal fit in all of this? Because Max Blumenthal was there, at least outside of the building, and he was able to get a couple of people on camera about the funding, about the spending, the amount of money that's going out the door that me and Chris Hez was just talking about this, the billions and billions of dollars that's just going out the door over and over and over again. Well, we have people in this country that don't have health care, that don't have clean water, people that are suffering, people that are living in poverty, which has not been fixed. But when it comes to the military industrial complex, this does not seem to be an issue. They always have money for that. Always have money for that. Now, I want to go ahead and show you part of his speech because there was something that he said here that I found to be a little bit revealing. Listen to this. I only have part of it. And this is clipped from C-SPAN. So he's talking about a symbol of victory in this war. Listen to this, guys. Listen to the propaganda.
I know that everything depends on us, on Ukrainian armed forces, yet so much depends on the world. So much in the world depends on you. When I was in Bakhmut yesterday, our heroes gave me the flag, the battle flag, the flag of those who defend Ukraine, Europe, and the world at the cost of their lives. They asked me to bring this flag to you, to the US Congress, to members of the House of Representatives and senators whose decisions can save millions of people. So let these decisions be taken. Let this flag stay with you, ladies and gentlemen. This flag is a symbol of our victory. In this war, we stand, we fight, and we will win because we are united. Ukraine, America, and the entire free world. Just one thing, if I can, the last thing, thank you so much. May God protect our brave troops and citizens. May God forever bless the United States of America. Merry Christmas and happy, victorious New Year. Slava Ukraini!
You know, of course, he had to bring God into it, right?
Thank you so much.
So now they're giving him the American flag here. I was trying to get to the part where, oh, and then he exits there. Maybe I missed that part. I'll say it here. Okay. Presents Congress with a battle flag from the front line of Bakhmut, calling it a symbol of our victory in this war. So here's the problem. He's asking for more money. Even when he was here, he's asking for more money. If you're talking about your victory, why do you need more money? Somebody explain this to me. I don't know. I don't feel like it's rocket science, but let's think about this for a second. If you are asking Joe Biden for more money, you said we need more aid, we need more weapons. How is that a victory if you need more? If you're winning, you don't need more. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I wish more people could see this. I wish more people could see it. Now, one person does see it, and that's Max Blumenthal. So he was able to approach Joe Manchin about the amount of spending that's happening in reference to this war. Listen to what Joe Manchin has to say. And then we're going to do a little adventure here, a little case study adventure here with Joe Manchin in just a second. But listen to this, because I want to show you something. We're going to call him out for the fraud that he is too. Here we go.
Yeah,
That's great.
Senator, do you know how many billions we've sent to Ukraine?
We're going to send a lot more.
Yeah, you want to send more?
Oh, absolutely. I'm all in. I'm all in.
You hear that? We're going to send, you guys heard that, right? Listen.
Yes,
Great.
Senator, do you know how many billions we've sent to Ukraine?
We're going to send a lot more.
Yeah, you want to send more?
Oh, absolutely. I'm all in.
So there you have it. We're going to send a lot more. He said he's all in. Let's go on. Let's go on. You can tell he's getting uncomfortable here. Now it's let's pretend like I have a phone call.
Yeah, you want to send more?
Oh, absolutely. I'm all in. I'm all in.
You're all in?
Yeah.
Do you,
How you all doing? Okay, what you got?
do you have
guys?
any problem with
me what
Zelensky
you got.
banning every opposition party?
What's that? Bring the bag.
Senator, how do we know where the
Meet me.
weapons are going?
Meet me at the. Just meet me at the. In the well there. You know, in the bottom where you come in.
Senator, how do we know where the weapons are going? They've been showing up in Africa and Lake Chad, according to the Nigerian president. Do you support?
That's true, by the way. Some of them have been showing up in Africa as well. Isn't this crazy, you guys?
Chad, according to the Nigerian president. Do you support any measure to track the weapons?
Terry Gentry, meet me there, okay?
Why isn't the money going here where there are homeless encampments surrounding the U.S. Capitol, Senator Manchin?
That's
Yes,
great.
Senator, do you know how much?
All good questions. Why isn't the money going here when there are homeless encampments? And Max was fortunate enough here to actually capture one. So this is exactly what he's talking about. The scene 2 blocks from the U.S. Capitol as Zelensky appealed for more than $45 billion in additional military aid to continue a proxy war through 2023. Here's a homeless encampment 2 blocks away. 2 blocks away. Guys, this is the reality of what's happening here in America. I know some of you are abroad. This is the reality of what is happening here in this country, where you literally have 2 blocks down the street, so much concentrated wealth and power, right? You have Congress, you have the White House, concentrated wealth and power. And 2 blocks in this direction, you have homeless encampments. Make it make sense. And the reality is, it's not just DC, it's Los Angeles. You have all these millionaires living in Los Angeles. You have all these homeless people. Make it make sense. Same thing with San Francisco. Same thing with Boston. All the homeless people, all the money that comes into TD Garden, all the money that comes into Fenway Park, and you have all these homeless people. Make it make sense. How you got poverty right down the street next to concentrated wealth. So this is something that Max pointed out, and he's 100% correct here. It doesn't make sense. Joe Manchin is one of the most wealthy senators in this country. You guys realize this, right? He's one of the wealthiest senators, and he lives in one of the poorest states. Make it make sense how you have so much poverty in West Virginia, but your senator is one of the wealthiest people in Congress. Doesn't make sense. Now, I wanted to show you that for a reason, because I have something to say about Joe Manchin. You heard on that video, he said that they were going to send more. He's all in. All of a sudden, Joe Manchin has no problem spending money when it comes to the military-industrial complex. Joe Manchin only got problem spending money when it's money for the American people. Because in case you may have forgotten, I did not. I covered this story Joe Manchin really did not want Build Back Better. Too much spending, he said. Too much money, he said. In case you forgot, let's all remember.
Joining us now, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Senator, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Good to be with you, Brett.
Senator, you're at the center of this negotiation with the president over his social spending and tax bill, the Build Back Better bill that is not coming up in the Senate before the new year, in part largely because of your reservations. Without you, the leadership doesn't have the votes it needs. So today, right now, what's the state of play?
Well, Brett, this is a mammoth piece of legislation, and I had my reservations from the beginning when I heard about it 5.5 months ago, and I've been working diligently every day and every minute of every day. I've been working on this, meeting with, whether it be the President Biden, whether it be Majority Leader Schumer and his staff, whether it would be with Nancy Pelosi, all of my colleagues, from all different spectrums of the political spectrum, if you will, from the right to the left. I've done everything humanly possible. And my concerns I had, and I still have these concerns, and where I'm at right now, the inflation that I was concerned about, it's not transitory, it's real, it's harming every West Virginian. It's making it almost difficult for them to continue to go to their jobs, the cost of gasoline, the cost of groceries, the cost of utility bills, all of these things are hitting in every aspect of their life.
So he's talking about the inflation and the cost of the bills, but you want to vote against the legislation that will put more money in the people's pocket. Make it make sense. You want to oppose all of it. Anything that's going to help the people financially, you voted against it. Let's go on.
And you start looking at, then you have the debt that we're carrying at $29 trillion. You have also the geopolitical unrest that we have. You have the COVID variant. And that is wreaking havoc again. People are concerned. I've been with my family. I know everyone's concerned. So when you have these things coming at you the way they are right now, I've always said this, Brett, if I can't go home and explain it to the people of West Virginia, I can't vote for it. And I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't. I've tried.
You are from one of the poorest states in the country, and you can't go back and explain this to people in West Virginia after you just said that your voters are struggling with prices, inflation in this country, but you can't put money in their pockets. You can't help them financially any way, shape, or form. You're going to vote against that legislation. Make it make sense, people. And for the host who is interviewing him, shame on him. Shame on him. How do you not push back? He just gave you a bunch of baloney, man. He didn't make any sense. You know he didn't. This is the problem with the corporate media. You're from one of the poorest states in the country, and you sell out the poor people. How do you guys, if you're watching and you live in West Virginia, how do you guys vote for him? Why you keep voting for him? Why? You guys rather vote for him than Paula Jean Swearengin, who ran against him? Especially if you coming from poverty. You rather vote for the rich man instead of the working class woman? How y'all keep voting for this fool? Somebody tell me. I miss a memo? Ask Joe Manchin. Next time you see him, he has a town hall or something in West Virginia. If you go to the town halls, next time you see Joe Manchin at the town hall, ask him, since he was so concerned about the spending when it came to Build Back Better, why isn't he concerned about the spending when it comes to Ukraine? And they've sent them billions and billions and billions of bills of dollars. And he just told Max Blumenthal that he's going to send more. Ask him. Ask him. Next time you see him at a town hall, call his bluff. This is what you have to do. You live in West Virginia. If your community is poor and you are struggling, you ask Joe Manchin, why is it that he is so damn wealthy and the rest of the damn state is poor? Ask him. We'll go back in.
Tried everything humanly possible. I can't get there.
You're done. This is a no.
This is a no on this legislation. I have tried everything I know to do. And the president has worked diligently. He's been wonderful to work with. He knows I've had concerns and the problems I've had. And you know, the thing that we should all be is directing our attention towards the variant, the COVID that we have coming back at us in so many different aspects and different ways. It's affecting our lives again. We have inflation that basically could really harm a lot of Americans, and especially those who are most needy and having a hard time struggling right now. So I think that's where our attention needs to be directed towards immediately.
You know,
and
you're
this
getting
has been going on for 5.5 months.
You're getting all the focus, Senator, but are there
Yeah, and it's
other
not right.
Democratic
It's not right.
senators who are concerned about this bill like you are? Have you talked to them?
I'm not going to speak for any of myself. I respect. They know they know the difficulties that I've been having with this. I've been very concerned about this. You know, when I first got to the Senate, back in 2011, I was having a meeting on armed services, and at that time, Admiral Mike Mullen was the chief of the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And I'll never forget. In this hearing, he was asked the question, "What's the greatest threat the United States of America faces?" And I'm thinking I'm going to hear something in basically with military threats we might have around the world. Without blinking an eye, he said the debt of our nation is the greatest threat. Now the debt was 14 trillion then, but it's 29 trillion now.
The debt of the nation is the greatest threat. But he has no problem expanding that debt or increasing that debt when it comes to the military industrial complex, guys. He has no problem going along with it then. It's only when you want him to give money and benefits to the American people. This guy you guys see the fraud. I don't know how this man continues to win. I really don't. But I will say this. The fact that Joe Manchin has not been removed from any committee assignments, that right there lets you know that the Democratic Party isn't as mad as him as you think. Even though some of them have come forward and they've said, oh my gosh, Joe Manchin has turned his back on the Democratic Party. He sold out the American people. Bernie Sanders will complain. Elizabeth Warren will complain. They'll complain about him voting the way that he votes. But I ain't see anybody remove Joe Manchin from any committee assignments. I said the same thing about Kirsten Sinema. Ain't nobody take her off any committee assignments either. You know why? Because they really don't see them that much as a problem. It's a circus. It's a circus. Now we want to talk about the spending. You want to talk about how much money has been going to the military industrial complex. Here's a clip here from Case Study QB. Now, Case says they're discussing Congress' $1.66 trillion spending bill, including $40 billion more to Ukraine to the end of September 2023. Listen to this.
So meanwhile, Jake, overnight, congressional negotiators unveiled a $1.7 trillion deal to fund the government, avert a shutdown. I guess this is CR part. We're in the second CR, right? But or the first one, right? But what do we know about what's in this huge proposal and how likely is it to pass?
So it's gonna pass. It's $1.66 trillion, Jose. It funds the government through the end of September of 2023.
And it did pass. FYI update today. It did pass.
This pushes off any government funding threat, at least until kind of the end of the summer, early September of next year, given how Congress always deals with these things at the last minute. What are the top line pieces of information? Number one, a big increase in defense spending. This is something that Republicans had sought for a long time, more than
a big increase in defense spending. There you go. That's where most of that money is going. I'm going to ask you guys this question again. Are we at war? Is somebody coming after us? Is there something I missed? Is anyone attacking us right now? That's how they avoid giving money to us.
$40 billion in aid to Ukraine, something that the new incoming House Republican majority is a little bit skeptical of. And but there are some big increases on the domestic spending side, but obviously the defense number is the big story here. Also, a ban on government employees having TikTok on their government phone. This is something that Nancy Pelosi had pushed for after Josh Hawley got this bill through the Senate. This is just one of the many provisions in this bill. But what's stunning to me, Jose, is this came out this morning in the wee hours of the morning, 4,000 pages. It needs to pass by Friday. It's Tuesday. I mean, this is no way to run a railroad, I guess is the old saying. Yet it's how the largest and most important country on planet Earth funds itself every year.
And Jake, odds are that all the legislators are going to read every single one of the words on that 4,000
I got a
page.
bridge to sell you if you believe that.
Hey, Jake, thanks, man. It's great seeing you.
We live in a cartoon. We literally do. That bill just came out this week, over 4,000 pages. Do you expect me to believe they read 4,000 pages? They just vote on something they didn't read through? And it's 4,000 pages on purpose, by the way, so that they won't read through all of it. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. I don't see how people can watch this and not feel some type of way. I really don't. Now, there was one more video that Max Blumenthal had as well. And I want to play this one as well. So I told you he was able to catch up with a couple of people and start asking them questions. And of course, they're going to call him a propagandist and all of this jazz. So he goes on to say that he caught up with the Ukrainian diaspora delegation on their way into the Capitol to cheer for Zelensky. Listen to what Max Blumenthal says here. Listen to their responses. It's pretty interesting.
Is $45 billion not enough?
Nope.
Not enough? How much more should we give to Ukraine instead of our own people? Do you support the Azov battalion?
There is no more of an Azov battalion.
There's no more
All
Azov?
the battalions were trained and recruited back into a formal professional army over the last 8 years.
So the neo-Nazis were brought into the army?
No, there are no neo-Nazis in
There's
the
none?
army.
Do you support Stepan?
What? Did you guys just hear that? Now, I got to be careful what I say on here because they'll come after me too. But look, I got to be careful what I say on here because of censorship. Did you hear what she just said? We all know that not to be true. We've seen the pictures. We've seen the videos. To just blatantly lie. Listen to this.
More of an Azov battalion.
There's no more
All
Azov?
the battalions were trained and recruited back into a formal professional army over the last 8 years.
So the neo-Nazis were brought into the army?
No, there are no neo-Nazis in
There's
the
none?
army.
Do you support Stepan Bandera?
Stepan Bandera died a long time ago.
War against innocent people.
I oppose the assault on Donetsk. Do you? The shelling of the people of Donetsk. Do you oppose that?
You know?
No?
Are you kidding?
Why are civilians being killed in Donetsk and Lugansk? Do you oppose that? Should the U.S. send $1 trillion of our taxpayer money to Ukraine? $1 trillion?
This is the least expensive
What about $2
method
trillion?
of ensuring democracy globally.
$1 trillion? Is there any limit?
There's it's not close to $1 trillion.
If Ukraine is a democracy, why did Zelensky ban all opposition media and 13 political parties? No, I'm not. I'm not paid by Moscow. Are you paid?
See, this is what they do. See how they're trying to smear him now? This is what they do when they don't want to answer your questions, or you're starting to mention things that they feel you should not know, or they don't want the rest of the American public to know.
Political parties. No, I'm not. I'm not paid by Moscow. Are you paid by the Ukrainian government that's banned all opposition media?
No, I'm American.
You don't believe there is a Ukrainian government kill list maintained by the Interior Ministry?
No.
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
Just like the non-existent neo-Nazis.
So her response was that she's American. Well, so was Max Blumenthal, but she still wanted to say that he was a Russian propagandist. You guys see the Jesus? You see how it works?
Lies.
Lies.
Write email
Lies.
to the office of the
You're filled with lies.
Write them email. They really answer all the time. Write them email.
So no answer about if Ukraine is a democracy, why did Zelensky ban 13 opposition parties?
Martial law. Read the definition of martial law.
Sounds undemocratic. Why did he ban the Russian wing of the Orthodox Church?
The Russian Orthodox Church was serving as a treasonous organization and was found with materials that were illegal and financing the enemy.
So banning clergy, banning media, banning opposition. This is fighting for democracy. But you acknowledged it was all true.
See, she just said that he's serving Putin. Do you see what I'm saying?
I'm serving Putin by stating facts.
You're not stating facts.
You just acknowledged that it was martial law and it was facts.
No, all I said is it's martial law. I didn't acknowledge it's a fact.
So he didn't ban the Russian wing of the Orthodox Church.
No, he hasn't. He submitted legislation for certain purposes, and it hasn't passed.
I have a great deal of respect for Max Blumenthal because I don't know how he has the patience to deal with that. I really don't. Ay.